these headphones.
Really?
So
Did you plug them in?
Yeah, I plugged them in. See if you
Did
can
you
fix
plug
that
them in? All right. Well, right now with that being said, we're going to go right into our first segment. The way we kick off every show right here on the Comedy Point. Drew Curtis from Fark.com. Check him out at Fark.com and follow him on Twitter at Drew Curtis. Drew, how you doing, sir?
Hey, doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good. Always great to talk to you, man. And we're gonna jump right into things. Murder suspect says dead wife's boobs looked perky.
Yeah, so they got this trial of the century of the week thing going on down in Australia, and the guy who is accused of having murdered his wife by shutting off her air vent valve while they were scuba diving was basically one of the witnesses at his funeral mentioned that I was talking about not only was he sort of distant and connected, but the only thing that he said about his dead wife was she looked kind of hot in that dress and her boobs looked perky.
Which is all that matters, really.
Yeah, at the funeral, yeah. It's like, oh, okay, sure. That's the first thing that would cross my mind, yeah.
The land down under is complaining about the northern hemisphere. Wah,
yep,
wah.
pretty much.
All right. Courtney Cox drinks a huge ass bowl of ranch dressing on CNN.
Yeah, so I don't really know what's going on with CNN these days. They seem to be just kind of screwing around. In particular, Anderson Cooper had Courtney Cox on, and apparently the 10-minute segment topic was supposed to be about her diet, because she's skinny as a rail. She never actually got around to saying what it was, but she did mention that whatever it was good enough to allow her to drink an entire bowl of ranch dressing, which she did. And by bowl, I'm not talking like one of those little like server cups from Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm talking about like you can put your entire head in this thing, and she drank it down.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Courtney Cox, what are you doing? Why?
Because she's showing off, I guess, or something. It's like, look how good my diet is. I can drink ranch dressing.
Yeah, I think Cougar Town was enough.
Something like that, yeah. It's kind of bizarre. I'm not really sure why. She just mentioned she really likes ranch dressing, and I guess she's not kidding.
Yeah, and she's not backing down now.
No, I guess not. So I guess that diet's working, whatever it is. Maybe it's a ranch dressing diet. I don't know.
Right on the phone, we are on the phone with Drew Curtis from Fark.com, at Drew Curtis on Twitter. Seat switching plan for escaping DUI does not go as planned.
Yeah, so the Lincoln Journal-Star, which I assume is in Lincoln, Nebraska, I didn't look it up, but I don't know any other Lincolns, mentions that the other night a couple of guys were pulled over. There was an accident, and the guy who was driving the car who got into the accident knew he'd had too much to drink, and so he did what other people have tried. He switched spots with his buddy in the passenger seat. There were two problems with this, however. The first problem was the cops saw it. The second problem was his buddy was drunker than he was, so they both went to jail.
Nice. And out-of-control hoarders, junk viewable from space.
Yeah, so with one of these little ABC 7 things, it's KGO based out of San Francisco. They got called down to San Jose because they do their little, we'll investigate stuff for you and check out things and whatever. Somebody called up and complained that their neighbor had too much junk in his yard, and when they asked to elaborate, he said you can see it from space. And it turned out you can pull it up on Google Maps and see that this guy's giant Fetcherlink junk piles in his backyard. The size of his house, because apparently he's one of those horror guys and couldn't get rid of it. So, but that's how you know you've gone too far, when you can actually see your pile of junk from space.
I can't imagine that switching to Hoarders, the TV show. I mean, these people, just no shame. They're just putting their stuff. I mean, you look at it, you're like, oh, if anyone has ever called me a hoarder, watch that TV show, and by no definition am I a hoarder.
Yeah, it's a whole other level right there, especially when you're finding all kinds of random stuff that you lost years and years ago in the piles up there. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if that counts as the eighth wonder of the world or not. But you can see that and the Wall of China and a bunch of other cool stuff. So.
WTF story of the month.
Yeah, so every once in a while, Florida comes up with something really amazing. They never fail. This is one of the. This is easily the weirdest story of the month, and it might be for the rest of the year, depending on how this all goes down. A Naples, Florida man was arrested, accused of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon outside of a bank. After he was arrested, he told deputies quite a few things, including that he was half orangutan and needed to call the Fusion Blood Center to ask about his infusion of monkey blood. Otherwise, he was going to die. On top of that, he also mentioned that he was the director of the CIA and later told them he was Elvis Presley's brother and a good friend of President Bush, with whom he shares an attorney.
Was it the monkey blood, or what made him talk like this?
I haven't got the slightest idea. I hope to God it's nothing I could catch, because that would be terrible. They don't actually say what it was. My guess is this is well beyond alcohol as a factor. This is a whole other planet.
I liked your laundry list of obscenities that he was just saying. Like, if that's not bad enough, he needed an infusion. If that wasn't bad enough, he said it was Elvis Presley's brother. It's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Really, dude?
And the director of the CIA, and they shared the turdy with, it's like, okay. I wonder what else he said, because you know what? I mean, those weren't the only 4 weird things that guy said. There's got to be like an entire book full of them. I'd love to see the entire report.
That wasn't a question, but I'm going with false.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now Drew, you've been on now for about a month. Tell us a little bit about. I know you do a ton of radio spots. You call on a bunch of stuff. Run your own website, Fark.com. But you do a ton of media.
Yeah. Usually, whenever I can. Usually, like if I end up in New York City, I'll just call up and see if anybody wants a talking head to go on, and I can throw curveballs at them for a while. So whenever I get a chance, I'll take a shot at it.
Cool, brother. No, I mean we always appreciate all the stuff to talk about and all the material.
Where do you come up with this? Where do you come up with
user
this?
submitted mostly. It used to be that when I started to decide, I was reading it myself and finding it, but we had a place where people could submit story suggestions, and the submissions started coming in faster than I could locate it. So I switched gears and started just reading what people were sending in instead.
Oh, so now do you check the facts, or do you just rely on the honesty of the people sending them in?
Since we're linking out to other sites, because they're not like writing this stuff up and we're not writing, we're actually linking out to the other source sites, so it's really kind of their problem. But I will say this, I've gotten pretty good at being able to tell whether or not that there's a particular story that ends up being BS or not, and usually I'll call it out in the tagline if I think there's something going on.
All right, that's the way to do it. You don't want to be passing on false information, especially here on the Comedy Point. We will not have it.
Exactly. I'll give you a good example, too. There was an article that was on CNN, and this was years ago. It got scrubbed off the Internet within about 15 minutes of us pointing this out. It was a breaking news flash. I think Drudge led with it. CNN ran up with it. Some guys supposedly out in Iraq had kidnapped an American soldier, and there's a picture of the guy with his hands over his head, blindfolded, and there was an AK-47 being pointed at his face. Now, aside from the fact that, first of all, it's not U.S. standard military issue to have AK-47s, he was being held off camera by the stock, not the trigger. And the first Farker that jumped into the thread said, hey, that's a G.I. Joe doll. And it turned out it was. It was actually a 4-inch G.I. Joe doll. The entire thing was a hoax.
Oh, my God.
But it was interesting because there was no retraction. It literally just disappeared. I mean, it was nuts. Like, they scrubbed that thing out. I guess it hadn't been up long enough. They figured they'd rather hide it than make a retraction.
Unbelievable, man, Drew. And we appreciate all your stories as ever. And we'll talk to you next week, buddy. Thanks so much.
All right, sounds good.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Joe.
Once again, that was Drew Curtis from Fark.com. Follow him on Twitter @Drew Curtis.